Hi, Nix Nova here again. Welcome back. For today's topic, I wanted to discuss a very common, very important theme that comes up in readings a lot, that comes up in just a concept of spirituality, and that is uh, being your true self, your higher self. Like, what does that mean? And like, why is it so important? So, what your true self is, it's kind of like two things. It's one is your deepest, like, inner self, like what your soul is, what your heart is, like this internal kind of like un like the version of you that is so internal inside of you that is untouched by external influences, that is the purest version of you. Also, it is the higher you that is there. Basically, we all have many layers, right? We exist on many planes, and there are higher planes of our existence that are closer to source, and there are lower ones that are further away. And then you are right now, we are somewhere in this world, we're somewhere in between. So your highest true self, that is the next level you, that is the you that is close to source. Because in the cycle of the soul journey, we all come from source, from this one vast place that's a collective kind of consciousness. We split off from it because this consciousness wants to experience, it wants to create, it wants to do all these different things that otherwise it won't be able to do. It gathers as much of this kind of diverse knowledge, and that is our souls. We're each of our soul journeys. And then the cycle continues as we evolve and devolve away and closer to this source. So your highest self is that part of you that is in tune with source. And the reason is like why is it so important to be in alignment? Like, what does it mean? Like, why does it come up all the time? So the closer you the more you listen to your higher self, the more in alignment you are with your true self, the more you are on the path of light, the path that you are meant to go on as far as your spiritual or your soul journey. So, when you are in alignment with your true self, you're closer to the light. You are evolving, your vibrations are higher, you're feeling fulfilled and happy, your life has more meaning, and you literally feel like, yes, this is me, this is who I was always meant to be. So when you deviate from this path, basically when you get lost, and I'm sure most of us, if not all of us, we at some point or another we try to fit in, we try to appease people, maybe a toxic partner, maybe our parents, and it's nobody's fault, no one's to blame. We're always meant to be exactly where we are currently on our journey. And so when we deviate from our true self, we also deviate from source, from light. We come closer to the darkness, and we start subconsciously inviting dark energies to start interfering with our path, with our life, with our fulfillment. So that's the times when we're basically in a dark place. It's exhausting. Because why? Because you're acting against your nature. Basically, think about this. Like, you are the way you are. There are certain parts of you that you can maybe, work to improve and change, and it's not a big deal. And then there are certain parts of your personality that is who you are at your core. And then, it's very difficult to change, and most likely it shouldn't even be changed. So when we try to pretend to be something we're not, when we think we're acting the way we should rather than the way we feel, um like we're acting like as who we truly are, it's exhausting, it's very draining. That's when depression kicks in. That's when you don't have a sense of fulfillment. You might just not be enjoying yourself. That's when you're least happy. And um again, you're in being in that state, you're inviting even more darkness. So your whole outlook on the world and your actual like physical world, it starts becoming, heavier and darker and more negative. So whenever you're feeling this way, really think about, and like maybe you can't right away figure out why, like, oh my gosh, I've been so lost, I'm in a dark place, I can't come out, I don't even know where to start, how do I even come out of it? And you're just kind of stuck in this heavy, like, bad place, this cycle. So how do you break it? Ask yourself, are you in alignment with what you really want to be, with who you truly feel that you are? um are you, so another, cliche thing, it's like, listen to your heart, right? I've realized, a lot of cliche sayings, they are cliche because honestly they're true, they've been repeated so much, but it's true. So why is it so important to listen to your heart? What does that mean? Your heart is what connects you to your true self, your higher self. That is the universe or source, whatever you want to call it, speaking through you, trying to guide you towards a path where you'll be happy and fulfilled, where you'll have some kind of purpose. Whether you believe this or not, every single one of us, every living creature, every person, we all have some kind of purpose, like this long term goal, this calling, if you want to call it that, that that speaks to us, that really urges us to do a certain thing. And that's where this kind of like sense of being in a state of inner peace and fulfillment comes in. So that's why it's so important to listen to your heart. It's the universe is trying to set you back on the right path. So whenever you are in a dark place, the first step is to consider, are you in alignment? And then if not, going from there, like what figuring out like what is your calling, how can you follow it, you know and just doing so. A lot of this is about like this soul journey. It's about self discovery, it's about trial and error. So in order to really be fulfilled and aligned and at peace and happy in life, is part of it is taking risks and trial and error and being brave and not giving up, because you think, and it's okay, like we don't know, and you never know until you try, right? So like we don't know any better, so we think this is what we want, and then we try it, and then it might be really disappointing, like that I don't feel good, that's not my passion, that's not who I really am, I don't feel like myself, I'm not happy on this path. And that's all right. It's, just keep listening, keep checking in. It could change. What fulfills you in your teenage years, what fulfills you in your 20s, 30s, 40s, etc., like on and on, it might evolve, right? We're growing, we're maturing, we're evolving, we're getting older, we're changing. The world around us is doing the exact same thing. It's also evolving and changing. So there could have been possibilities that we have available to us now that were not available to us decades ago or years ago. So that's all right. And I'm in my 30s, and I've been through a whole bunch of crap. And just now, like when I was 29, that's when I really started rediscovering my spirituality. That's when I picked up tarot. And that's when I realized, yes, this is me. This is my purpose. And I don't regret anything. I don't regret getting lost. I don't regret making mistakes, because every single thing I've ever done that was good or bad, in alignment or not, it all led me here. May not seem that way to present you, but future you will really appreciate everything that past you has gone through, and will understand why it had to happen that way, and what lessons were learned, and how much of a better person you are. So again, another cliche saying is, sometimes to be found, you have to get lost. Yes, that's going to happen on your journey. And, this is, don't, basically my point is, don't get discouraged if you get lost. It's all right to feel that way. It's all right to acknowledge it. Just whenever you do, keep checking in. Who are you? What do you want? What fulfills you? What makes you truly happy? What gives you anxiety? What gives you peace? Like, it's all important. And then keep trying, keep exploring, and just as long as you do that, as long as you keep tuning into yourself, looking within, listening to your heart, you will find your purpose, and you will find your calling, and you will find peace, or at least the path to peace. And that's why it's so important, because every single one of us, we may not feel that way. We may feel really small, right? And maybe we are in comparison, right? Like, who are we on a planet, in a galaxy, right? Or like this tiny little dot. But like, everything comes together for a reason. Every single person has a purpose here. Every one of us really does matter. We do. You do. I do. Everybody matters. Like, basically think of it like this, right? Like, our bodies are composed of atoms, right? What's one atom? Right? Basically nothing. Like, what's one grain of sand, But, as a collection, as a higher beast, to look at your body in general, right? Look how complex your organs are. Look what the brain can do. Look what our hands can create. Like, it wouldn't be possible without every single piece of tissue, every single little speck of, like, every atom in our body. It's so vital to us, the way we function. It's the same way. Again, right? We all started with source, right? We're all a part of something greater than ourselves. And whether you're a believer or not, and again, it's okay if you're not. Instead of source, think about society, right? We need all of these people, all we need everyone plays a role. We would not be able to live the same lives that we do, have access to the same resources, the same, be able to pursue the same interests, if we didn't have everybody that contributed in some way or another. So whether actually materialistically on earth here, and also beyond ourselves on a spiritual plane, we all really do matter. And that's why it's really important to follow your path, because it's all leading you to the light. It's all leading you to your purpose, and basically pursuing your purpose. That's the key to inner peace. And then I have made a video about like meditation. That's a really great way to start, to kind of exploring your inner self and trying to channel your higher self, and connecting with who you really are. And there are other, many ways. Basically, doing any activity that makes you you. And some activities, it may seem like, society may deem it as a waste of time. No, if you feel fulfilled, if you feel truly happy and truly at peace, as long as obviously you're not hurting anyone, including yourself, right? But as long as you feel good and like truly yourself, that's part of it. It's part of who you are. Like for example, like I have many hobbies I cycle through, like drawing, dancing, reading, tarot, all of these things. But one of my hobbies happens to be video games. And whenever I do play, I don't have much time anymore, but whenever I do get to, I count it as I feel good. I don't feel like I wasted time. I feel like that's a productive hobby to me. I feel like this is me. This is part of what, like, I get something out of it. I play for the stories, and um if I see something, like when I'm playing the game and it's like the story is going a certain way, and like maybe I'm taking lessons away from it, maybe it's basically, it teaches me to see things from a different perspective, and that's expanding, that expands myself, right? That's giving me new ways to look at things, and that makes me fulfilled. I always want to like broaden myself, and always try to imagine things from all the different angles. That's part of like who I am. That's really important to me, to have this like wider understanding. And games and art and things like that, they happen to do that for me, and that's never a waste of time. Obviously, everything was balanced. There's a time for games and hobbies, there's a time to do work, there's a time to do chores, there's a time to socialize. So, you know it's not to say, oh, just only do, things that make you feel good, and neglect all your chores and hard work. No, it's all part of it, right? But it's also, this balance is important. It is important to carve out even a little bit of time to do anything, no matter how small, that connects you to your true self. So, be kind to yourself as always, and live a balanced life. So the tarot card today this is also from the Dreams of Gaia deck, and this is number 13, Union. And I love this artwork. This is so, so beautiful. Trying to get it. This depicts a figure. It's like, so this is about incorporating everything, like we just mentioned, balance, right? This is incorporating every single part of you, that is your mind, body, soul, your your physical self, your ethereal self, your higher self, and your current self. Every single aspect that makes you truly who you are. And I love this. It's an amalgamation. It's this being that's part human and kind of part nature, part tree, and like part like a dragon. It's becoming one with nature, one with source, and being the chakras are there. It's about being in alignment. The butterfly represents freedom, and yeah, we have these dragon-like faces here. They represent love. They're in the shape of a heart. They represent protection, and most important, the love for yourself and protecting yourself, and this kind of cycle that goes on within us. And then of course the third eye, the eye of God, or whatever you want to call it, the eye of the higher, basically like the higher perspective, the third eye. um so yeah, very, very beautiful cards. So whenever this one comes up in readings, that's where it kind of helps me understand the state, like of the client. How how in alignment are they, like are they listening to their true self? How how far along are they on their journey? And how and then based on other cards that come with it, how, like, what can they do specifically for them that will help them be put into this aligned and higher state, this higher vibration. So yeah, I really hope every single one of you will take the time to do some soul searching, just even a simple 5-minute meditation, just a simple question, just a little thought like, who am I? What makes me me? Why is that who I am? What does that mean to me? You know, I that will already help, and hope that it will, give you some ideas and help you feel a little bit more fulfilled and at peace. So, yeah, thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time.